Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we're going to talk about the exact opposite of a question we got last week. One I didn't have an answer to. I was asked, how should black people respond when they encounter racism? I have no idea what the right answer is there. Somebody asked how white people should respond when they see it. That I have an answer to. A bunch of them. I can give you a bunch of little tactics that can help. Normally when white people encounter racism aimed at other groups, it is typically passive. It's a joke. And I've talked about this before. If somebody says a bigoted joke in your presence, the best tactic I have ever seen to deal with it is pretend like you don't get it. They say something and you're, I don't understand. And you force them to explain the underlying racism in the joke. It's probably not going to change the way they think, but it will stop them from doing that around you. Maybe it has some further impact to let them know that it's not socially acceptable to do that. But at the bare minimum, they'll stop doing it around you. And that's, in some ways, that's all you can control, is what happens in your presence. Another one is sarcasm. I've seen that used a lot, especially among men who are just talking tough type of stuff. Somebody says something, oh man, you're here early. The meeting's not till Sunday night. We don't break out the cross or anything till then. Maybe this isn't the right place for you right now. And it works. It works. It sends that message that this is unacceptable with the group of people that you are with. That it does not bring you into the in-group. And a whole lot of racism is based on tribalism. It's based on wanting to fit in with a group and other people. So if you can take that motivation away by saying, if you behave like this, you're not in this group, it's a pretty strong motivator. Now there's direct correction that's firm as well. If you have the ability to do it, you can just be like, yeah, don't talk like that in front of me. And let that go. There's also direct correction that is based in education, because there are a lot of people who may honestly not realize how racist they're being, because racism is so prevalent in the United States. There's a lot of accepted statements that sometimes people just need to be educated on. And it's better for you to do it than to force the subject of their bigotry to handle and force them to educate it. It has got to be exhausting explaining basic concepts of humanity to people over and over again. So take some of that pressure off of them. Help in that way. You can step in there and you can help. And then you have mitigation of risk if things start getting out of hand. If you actually do encounter the kind of racism that could lead to violence. One, pull out your camera, film it. Or you can use a more direct approach. One of the more shocking ones that happened in my life is I'm sitting in this restaurant with a friend of mine, and we're there celebrating. We had been celebrating for a couple of hours. I probably was not as aware of my surroundings as I normally am. But all of a sudden, I saw him looking over my shoulder. I saw his eyebrows go up. I saw him suck in a bunch of air. I watched fight or flight get triggered, and he was fighting. And he stands up from the table, so I stand up and turn around. I don't know what's going on, but when I turn around, I see an altercation developing between the bartender, who's black, and a white guest. So I kind of ease around to the other side of the guest. We know the bartender. We've known him for a while. And my friend starts talking to him, and within seconds, he's like, man, F this, and he goes off with this incredibly racist rant. We need to go somewhere where our kind's more accepted. And they start walking towards the door, and I start to follow him, thinking he's just getting him to the parking lot. And he kind of waves me off. So I'm like, okay. I go back to apologize to the bartender for what my friend said. And he's like, "Oh, man, that's cool. Thank you." But doesn't explain what happened. Because from my vantage point, all of a sudden, my friend just joined in this racist ranting that was going on. And it takes about an hour for him to get back. And when he comes back in, he explains that when the guest was pointing, you could see his gun in his waistband. And it was just a way to diffuse the situation and get him out of there. The answer to the question, how should white people respond when they see racism? Immediately. That's the answer. There's a whole bunch of different tactics, and it depends on the kind of person you are. Depends on what you're comfortable doing. Depends on the situation that presents itself. But the answer is immediately. How do you respond? Immediately, right then. Do something to mitigate it, to end it, to redirect it, to diffuse the situation. Anything you can to make life just a little bit more tolerable for the people who are subjected to this. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.